Good morning, welcome to the video. It's Tuesday the 2nd of September and we've been away and we've been on the Dorset coastline and we've had quite a bit of rain, a lot of wind and a couple of gaps in the window to get down to the beach, so it's been great. But the one thing I have noticed is the amount of rain. The lawns have really started to green up, which is fantastic. So it's Tuesday, it's fortnightly mowing, so we need to get ready for that. Now, first of all, my usual Hater 56 Pro, if you remember from last week, that is with the tractor, so I don't have that. So what we need is scroll down here, if that's the right phrase, and find our spare one, which is essentially a 56 Pro but with a brand new green body on, and you may have seen Greg Francis' video of him making those changes. So this is our spare mower and this is the mower we're going to be using for today. There should be nothing wrong with it, it should be absolutely fine to use, so we're going to go with that. I haven't had chance to have the 41 looked at, so we're going to be back on the Ego battery mower, and they are the two mowers I need for today. However, the rain I think is scheduled all week. It's very nice outside at the moment, but I think there's rain coming. Tomorrow looks a real big washout and Thursday, Friday look okay. One of the jobs booked in for tomorrow has got a lot of leaves down, and I seem to remember doing a post, I think it was probably last year, but it was probably next week, if that makes sense, and essentially it looked like autumn. Out the front it's really leafy, so I actually think I'm probably going to have to take a backpack blower. It's going to be that kind of leaf level even in early September, so that'll be a job for tomorrow to do that, to make sure that's on board. And yeah, right, well, also while I was away, I had a couple of quotes come in as they sort of regularly do, and certainly this time of year people start thinking about lawn care, but of course you don't think about it, you shouldn't think about it when it needs to be done. You need to be thinking about it in the summer beforehand. So again, I'll say to some of them yes, but realistically by the time I've done everybody, we're going to be in sort of mid-end of November probably. Will the grass be growing then? Will I be able to seed then? I've no idea, so it will all depend on the weather. Had they had it booked in early in the year, ready for this, I know one of the guys who's contacted me, he was due to contact me in the spring, early spring, and he's only just got around to it. He probably thought, I think generally the mindset is, I'll contact him nearer the time when it needs to be done. But I can't wait for that. I need to be booking people in throughout the year ready for it. You don't try and buy a turkey on Christmas Day morning, do you? It's that sort of scenario. So yeah, one of the quotes however did come in which really interests me. It's full service, it's local to me, and it is large, so I am going to possibly pop in this evening to go and have a look at that, measure up, etc. But the location of it, which is the thing I'm really sort of attracted to. I'm not sure where I'd be able to do it this year, in the sense that all my slots are kind of filled, but there'd always be room to do it here and there, and maybe at a weekend and this, that and the other. But realistically it's just getting it on the books so that next year it's already there, and then they can have their Friday or their Thursday or whatever it is, and then all I would do is those couple that I do really far away, they basically would be subbed out for this one. But it's early stages at the moment, but it's certainly one I am interested in. Okay, so there should be nothing wrong with this, but it has sat in the shed for a little while, so before we take it to a job and can't get it to work, we'll try and make it not work here, or hopefully we'll make it work here. this section here was really dry. The client had done a really good job of keeping kind of this square looking good. I set the sprinkler up to water this bit, and it's coming pretty well. Obviously we've had a bit of rain over the weekend, so that's greened it up too. So I'm just going to finish off with just blowing off any debris on the lawn, and yeah, not bad. Okay, so on and off weather. I've been quite lucky actually. It's rained on and off all morning and it's been fine. It's got a little bit heavier this afternoon. The last job I did, as soon as I finished it, it started raining, and it was the heaviest rain that it rained all day. And then I got to this property here, cut the grass, and literally as I was getting back in the van, it started raining again, as you can see now. So I've been quite fortunate in that respect. I've seemed to have missed the showers. It's, as I say, tomorrow it looks showers all day on, off and on. Tomorrow looks torrential. Thursday, Friday looks okay. Now, looking at my diary from last year, so the week after we got back from our weekend away, same time every year, in my diary, Thursday and Friday of last year were complete washout. I don't think I even left the house. It was that, well, obviously left the house, but to go and actually try and cut some grass or something, it was that wet. So yeah, it's interesting that last year we had 2 days of washout, and this year we're going to have potentially 2 days of heavy rain. So it's a little bit of history repeating itself perhaps. Good morning, Wednesday. Now, if you watched any of my videos last season, this site would be a very familiar site. Going to be raining all day as it is now, but there will be really heavy rain and some lighter rain, so I'm going to use the opportunity of some lighter rain to get some work done. So I said to you the other day that I would be needing a backpack blower for one particular property. There's a lot of needles down at this first property I'm at, so actually I'm going to use the blower then. So I don't know if you know the story of my backpack blower. I started off with a handheld BG86 and then moved up to the BG 600, which was the biggest one Still did at the time. I didn't actually realise, but the 700 was very soon to come out, but my dealer didn't tell me about it because he obviously wanted to get rid of a load of 600s. I've had this since about 2015. And it's never skipped a beat. It has been brilliant. You may remember that I was one of the first people to put out a BR 800 video out in the UK, certainly, and that was filmed a year before I was allowed to actually put it out, and it was launched in the UK. Now, what I always said was I was going to get, once this blower died, I was going to get the 800. Now, that was the plan, but it just didn't die, and it didn't die, and it didn't die until I think it was 2001, maybe autumn of 2001, and obviously we were suffering the effects of COVID in the sense that parts were hard to get hold of, and just generally bits of kit were hard to get hold of. So we just got into the autumn. I was at that stage where I was sort of middle and end of autumn renovation work, but also getting into leaf season now. And then this blower stopped working, so it was going to be weeks and weeks to get the part, and I couldn't. It was my opportunity to now buy an 800, as I'd said for years, but I couldn't get hold of any, so I ended up having to buy another 600. I've got no problem with that, you know. 600, as I say, is bulletproof, so so I now have two. Now the newer one I generally use more often because it's newer, you know, the pads aren't quite as worn, etc, etc. But what I thought I'd do is, because I need to start them both up basically and get them checked over, is I would get which I probably haven't used this year, get this one running and just check it's all alright before we really get into leaf season, and before we really get into you know, maintenance and stuff like that. So so hopefully everything runs well. There shouldn't be any fuel in there, so oh, there's a bit of pressure, but no, there's no fuel in there as such, so so all should be good. Okay, so just check the throttle's not jammed or anything. So there's been no fuel in here, so we'll pump this through. I think still say 6 times, but generally you can feel it getting pressurized. This is obviously quite brittle and old, this rubber, so it's not quite as not responsive, but as easy to tell. Full on choke, hold it there. There we go. So now it's conked out. Choke off, which you can either do by pulling the trigger. Now just turn it to half, not full, just a half now. Okay, I said autumn had come early to this lawn. Well, here you go. That looks like autumn to me. This is an orchard area of one of the big gardens I do out the back. What I tend to do is what I do is just cut some paths from, there's two ways in, one through the gap in the hedge, one from just the sort of side path that goes up the garden. So you just join through, do some paths, and then you've got your fire pit there, you've got your compost area there. So the plan would be to come in on Wednesday with the flail mower and cut this all down. If you remember, I cut this down, I think it was in January with the flail mower. It was fine, it did the job it needed to do, but hopefully with it just being that little bit longer and more standy uppy, so getting it down now will help for when all the leaves come down, because quite often I end up blowing them all through that gap and then try and get them back here. It'll be much easier to do it on shorter grass than this long stuff. So that's Wednesday next week. Okay, it's 5:30, just on the final lawn of the day, and we've got another shower just come through. So it's not been too bad. I thought today was going to be a complete washout, but actually it has been heavy showers followed by sunshine, heavy shower followed by sunshine. I've been quite fortunate, as I was yesterday actually, that when the really heavy showers came, it was when I was in a sort of a transitional from one garden to another. So yeah, not too bad. As you can see over there, that's kind of where the rain's coming from. There's some, I don't know, that's really nice blue sky up there. There you go. Hopefully this cloud's not too big. But they've got this lovely little, is it a pergola? I suppose it is. A gazebo? It's not a gazebo, is it? Anyways, it's keeping me out of the wet. So and they've kindly put a bench in there as well. Anyway, while we're here, just show you another job for Wednesday. I just have to pop out for this. Getting wet now. So Wednesday, this will be another area that's going to be flailed down. Hopefully won't flail the deer. That'd be bad. Morning, Thursday. Started off really wet about 6:45 this morning. This weather band came in. Stayed for about half an hour, probably. Really heavy rain. And then it cleared up and it was very nice. And then I was just commenting to Will Moser of Moser the Ground Care about how good the weather was actually after the rain, because he's up in Suffolk and he just got that rain band. And then I noticed this rainbow and I said, actually I think the rain's coming now. Yeah, the rain's come all right. I'm just working out if I can get back to the car without getting completely drenched, or whether I just stay here and use this canopy for protection. Okay, sun came back out. Seems to be either sunshine or heavy rains. So there's kind of three areas here. There's the formal bit there, and obviously up there. Then there's the sort of surrounds, the semi-rough if you want to call it that. And then there's the rough. And I cut this once during the summer. It's actually a lot taller than it kind of looks on screen. And then I try and cut it again about nowish. So I'm going to cut next week when I come. I'm actually going to work on this rough area here, and then there's a big area which is all nettles and brambles by the front gate. And the reason is, going to get this all cut down so as the leaves start dropping, and they are beginning to drop, and you can just sort of see the yellowy sort of tint to that oak. Not that the oaks will drop for a long time, but essentially I need to get all these leaves blown from there over to here. So getting them to pass through shorter grass will be much easier. So that's the reason for that, and that's next week's job. Okay, so today's been a bit crazy, what with the weather, but also getting all the work done. I was on pickups as well, and then we also had to get, so I had the Time Master and I had the 56 Pro in, or we also had to get the stump grinder in for next week, because we were bringing that home, and then we also had to get the big old flail mower on there as well. So yeah, I had to go and pick the kids up. It has got wheels, you're right. Yeah, lots of wheels. So Friday, and that rain has made a big difference, as you can see sort of behind me. There you go, things have started to green up. And that's the great thing about regularly overseeding with decent grass seed, is that in the drought in the summer, what it does is it goes dormant, it doesn't die. If you have lots of poa annual meadow grass in your lawn, while it's there, all right, it's slightly different shade of green to the rest of it, but grass is grass, right? But when you then have a drought, that's the stuff that dies away. That's why at the end of a drought, you have a really patchy lawn where there's loads of bare patches and stuff, because that's all the weed grass that's gone, that's too much for me, and has died off. The good grass, your ryegrasses, your fescues, etc., they'll just turn dormant, and as soon as you get the right amount of rain and moisture, poof, comes back to life, and there's your lawn again. So that's why it's important to regularly overseed, I think. Okay, so that was the first house. On to the second house. I'll just quickly show you I haven't cut it or anything yet. I've just there's so many needles off that pine, whatever it is. Can you see that pile? That's just pure needles. It's massive, and I just think it's just so dry. That it's just shedding so much. I mean, it's a regular thing, but I mean, I'm taking not quite this amount so far, but I've been taking a bin full off weekly. I've been looking after this lawn 10 years, and this garden, and we've had 2 major droughts in that time, and the lawn and the trees never shed that amount before. Anyways, just want to show you something. So I was using the 56 yesterday, and this cable here, it just feels totally different. It's like, it works, but it's literally just on that last little bit that it works, and I just think that cable is stretched, and I suspect it's going to go very soon. So what I've done is I've ordered a new one, and I've brought the other 56 as well, just in case it went. Then I'll bring this one out. Although this one's had a lot of work done to it, it's still got a slight problem, which I'll discuss at another point. But anyway, when I did all the shelving for the van, so this is a short wheelbase van, Vivaro. Can you see it's like double? There's 2 bits of wood on that side, and I just kind of made it sort of as I felt I needed to. And then I had a guy working with me one day, and we were going to be doing a lot of mowing, so I wanted the 2 mowers, and I needed the 41 as well. So I couldn't fit these 2 mowers in side by side. So I realised that actually cutting that bit of wood out meant that they would slot in nicely together. That was the 2 old style Pros, and these obviously slightly different shape, but they still both fit in there. So so that's really cool. So what it does mean is you get access to both, and if I needed the Time Master in the back or the 41 Pro, I can still get it in. So that's 3 big mowers, and the point is that that's 3 big mowers in the van, and you can gain access to any of them without having to get anything else out. I can still gain access to the strimmer, I can still gain access to the handheld blower. Backpack blower can sit there, and that can slide along depending on which blower you want to get out. And in this business, that's what it's all about, is efficiencies, is rocking up to a lawn, grabbing the tool that you need, cracking on, and then putting it back. What I wouldn't want to be on, it's a bit different here because it's gated and everything else, but if it wasn't a gated area, you know, you've got to then move out the Time Master, pull the mower out you want. Are you going to put it all back in? Are you going to chance it? You know, it's difficult if you're on a parked in the roadside. Everything's got to go back in, and then everything's got to come back out to get that mower back in. And yeah, efficiency is really, really important. So it is possible in a short wheelbase van like mine to get two 56s and a Time Master, for instance, and not have to move anything around. So hey, may be useful to you. Okay, so things are greening up. All that's left is this lawn here. It's really burnt up in the middle there. That's where the sun really gets it. As I say, I've got a tiny bit out the front and this lawn left, and that's it. And as expected, the cable snapped. So this cable, I assume it hooks in there. Don't think it's that one. And then that just slides down there. I just felt it didn't seem right. So fortunately, I have experience of that feeling of knowing it's going. So I was able to bring the other one. I could have just brought this one and not brought the other one, but this one has got a bit of an issue, which was what I first diagnosed the problem was, and that is the I can never say it, blade brake clutch is sort of slipping on it, so it does bog down a bit in deep stuff. Now that's initially what I thought was the problem, but then I realized that actually it was the engine turning, and that was what was slackening the belt. Obviously that's not an issue now, but it is actually still doing it slightly, so I didn't want to bring this one. It's good, it's fine for a backup, but it's not ideal for your regular mower. But it will do for today, and it will do while but actually I won't need the other 56 now till Thursday of next week, so hopefully I would have fixed it by then. I hope you've had a good week, and I'll see you next week for some mowing, stump grinding, flail work, and oh yeah, ground fest. I will have I will have my usual lawn guy stickers, so if you do have stickers for swaps, etc., bring them with you, and we'll make that happen.